football, the red zone is where a team has to make small adjustments to ensure victory. As you approach retirement, you also need to make small adjustments to ensure success. This is the Red Zone Retirement Program with registered investment advisor and enrolled agent John Mears of Mears Money Management.
Time once again for Red Zone Retirement Program, and this week we're doing a little email questions from the mailbag, I suppose, Coach. We're going to take some questions from folks that dropped the line into the podcast and to your website. So we'll see if we can help some folks out with some nuggets of information. You doing all right this week?
Doing great. It's summertime. We're having a mild summer here in Southern California. We have not hit 100 yet, and we're waiting for the other shoe to drop because when it gets hot fast. So knock on wood. As we're recording this, still not too bad. By the time people are actually watching this or listening,
maybe right.
It may already have happened. But I love these mailbags because people are thinking it. If one person's asking, other people are thinking the same thing. So I love doing these because they're just out of the blue. They're just general questions. But again, I know it's on other people's minds. So I hope
for sure.
Enjoy this.
Well, I will be happy to send you some heat your way. At the time we're taping this, it's actually comfortable now, but we spent 2 weeks at 100 actual degrees to 102 for just about every day, plus the humidity. So it was pretty hot.
Yes.
So if you want some heat, I will send it your way. It's on its way.
Out here, it's a dry heat though, so that's one thing we can tolerate.
It's humidity here. Yeah, nobody. So it's like 114 with the heat index out here for a little bit, and you're just like
East Coast versus West Coast is much different. My son lives in New York, and he's like, I don't even go outside. He's like, I won't even bother. So.
Yeah. It's rough. Yeah. Let's get into some email questions here, Coach. Jerry in Newhall says, renting in retirement. What's your thoughts? Pros, cons, yay, nay? What do you think?
So I actually don't have a problem with renting in retirement. It just depends. Everybody's different. One of the things about renting in retirement is if you have equity in your home and you decide to sell it, that is money you could use in retirement. A lot of times people need the flexibility. They want to be able to move. Sometimes people want to move with their kids and that sort of thing. One of the good things I like is, even as I'm getting older, is the maintenance issues. When you're renting, if you're in a condo or an apartment building, somebody else is responsible for the maintenance for once, which is kind of nice to have.
True.
Another pro is you don't have to worry about those large expenses. Right now, I had a problem with my air conditioning unit and had to pay somebody to fix that. Whereas if you're renting, that is not your going to be your concern is any major repairs or anything like that. And that allows, I think, for predictable budgeting so that if you kind of know what your rent's going to be. Now, there could be rent increases. I get that. And that's probably one of the cons here. But basically, since you don't have to worry about any major repair expenses, like we that own homes we have to budget for that. We have to have a part of our budget set aside for any home repairs. You don't have to worry about that so much. So you don't have to worry about the maintenance. You have to worry about the landscaping, that sort of thing. You don't really have to worry about major insurance costs. Your insurance will only cover your contents, that sort of thing, renter's insurance. So there's just a lot more simplicity with renting. Now, there's some cons to renting, as we all know. You are not building equity. So that is definitely a con. You're not building equity. But again, if you're getting to the age where that really doesn't matter and we have a financial plan that's all set up where we don't need to worry about your equity, then again, that's not as big of a concern. And then there's no legacy. You're not leaving the kids or the grandkids a home that has value. But again, if you sold your home and you have cash on the other side, you can leave that for them too. So it's not quite hey, you're not getting the house, you're not getting anything. Well, again, if you sold your house and there's some cash from the sale of that house, that is something you can leave for legacy. But again, there's no buildup of equity. And again, there are possibilities of rent increases in the future. And that's something you really can't control.
Yeah, I'd imagine in your neck of the woods, John, selling a place and deciding to go to a renter. I mean, you could pocket a good chunk of money right now because values are so high. Yes. But yeah, to your point, I mean, I've also seen some pretty horrifying rental prices out that way too. So I guess you really, again, it's all about balancing that budget, and having that strategy.
Part of a budgetary issue. So you got to find the right place like you would anytime. I mean, that's just even if you're owning, but you got to find the right place, the right situation. So it's not for everybody, but I get this question actually fairly often. Is it okay if we rent? Because I think we're kind of conditioned that you have to own a home. And I'm a believer in home ownership, so don't get me wrong here. But there is a point, again, where you're getting older, and we talk about the go-go years, the slow-go years, the no-go years. If you're in those slow-go years or getting close to the no-go years, you might be at the point where my mother-in-law, she had to manage, after her husband passed away, she had 2.5 acres. There's a huge bit of property. She had a big house. And so she ended up downsizing, and she's now renting. And I joke with my wife, she's now the most popular person at the in the retirement community. But it's a lot simpler life for her. It really is. And we're glad that she made that move, but it's a tough decision. It really is. And again, I get that. It's a tough decision because you're used to being a homeowner your entire life. But again, you're downsizing and you are simplifying. It gets so much easier, and it's okay, folks. If that's what you are considering or thinking about doing, it is okay.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that. So I've got 6 acres where I'm at, right? And so I've got this big building that I've got my office in, and the house and blah blah blah. And my brother and I my brother's 14 years older than me, so he's in his upper 60s. He's already old. Yeah, right, exactly. He's older than you, and so so the other day we're doing a bunch of chores out the property and whatnot, and he's like, I don't know how much longer I can keep helping you with this, and I was like, I don't know how much longer I can keep doing it either. So at some point it's like, all right, I either got to decide and put it in my budget to farm that stuff out. Or, my wife and I'll have to consider what to do with it. Right. So, but the home prices and buying a new one and interest rates and all that kind of stuff make that a interesting proposition right now. So again, it's really all about that plan and that math, seeing what your strategy calls for. So great points there. Great question too. So
yeah, it was. It's a fantastic question. I think people are shy to ask that too, because I think, again, we're all conditioned. We have to be homeowners. We have to be homeowners. No, you don't. It's okay. Again, we have to plan for everything. I do believe in that, but it's okay. It's okay if you want to rent.
Well, good stuff. If you need some help, of course, John's going to reach out to you. The team's going to reach out to folks who've already dropped an email anyway. But if you do want to reach out because you're in a similar situation, you want some insight on your specific situation, click on one of the links in the show descriptions below. Just go to mearsmoney.com, mearsmoney.com. All right. So our next question is from Tony in Woodland Hills. He says, investing for retirement, coach, seems kind of simple to me. Why not just invest in dividend-paying stocks, live off those dividends, and not dip into the principal? I mean, this was kind of a thing for a long time, a while back, John. Is it still viable?
Yes and no. The answer is no. It's not really viable the way he's presenting it here. Okay. And this is something that I have had clients bring up to me. So we do like dividends. That shows that the company's profitable. So we have a recent podcast. We're going over the 3-factor model. We're trying to goose our returns. There is supposedly, by those same academics, a 4th factor in that, and that is profitability. Now, we're not going to say that's the same thing as dividends. They aren't quite. All right. But profitability matters, and then so some people equate that with dividends. One of the problems with dividends is that, as we know, dividends are not guaranteed. Dividends, they may be stable. Large companies tend to be the ones paying out dividends, but they're not guaranteed. We saw in the pandemic, some companies stopped paying out dividends temporarily. Some temporarily was a long time as well. So if you're counting on that dividend, then it's kind of tough. So the opposite strategy of dividends is where we're looking at a total return strategy. So that's a little bit different. And a total return strategy includes dividends, but also the growth of your investments. So that gives us a lot more flexibility. So with dividends, you're kind of trapped in this area where I'm just living off the dividends. And if they cut dividends or they reduce dividends, you're kind of in a bind. Whereas with a total return strategy, we have different ways for you to access your money. It can be partly dividends, but it can also be from the growth of your investments. That also, one thing that dividends tend to be are, again, just large large companies that are what I'd say mature and really aren't growing. They're blue chip stocks. That's fine. Okay. Right. But you aren't really enjoying some of the benefits of some of the other sectors out there. You're kind of locked into a certain sector. You're really not doing small companies. You're not really doing a lot of international, so on and so forth. So it kind of locks you into a certain area where you're not quite diversified. We talk about diversification in other episodes. So we want to be diversified. Well, if you're just going for dividend stocks, again, you're not really diversified. I'm not going to say that you're evil if you like dividends either. If you're chasing dividends, I just don't agree with that as an overall retirement strategy.
It's a piece, right? It sounds like it's a piece like anything else. It helps you with your income streams, sure, right?
Yeah, again, that's what I would call the fourth factor. The three factors being stocks over bonds, small company over large companies, and then again, value over growth. So those are the things we're looking at. The fourth can be kind of intertwined in there. Oh, by the way, if we have a small company, it's helpful if it's also profitable. But again, Amazon took years before it was profitable. So, and those who invested in Amazon early on were richly rewarded as well.
Right.
So that's so again, if you were just going after dividends, you probably were not buying Amazon stock back in the day either. So
well, they weren't selling lobsters, cars, and tiny homes on Amazon at that time either.
No. So my last point, I guess, with dividends only as a strategy is it when we're talking about retirement distributions, all we're looking at is, again, a withdrawal strategy is what we're trying to get. And dividends don't allow us to have a complete withdrawal strategy.
Gotcha.
If I'm oversimplifying.
Gotcha. By the way, it'd be interesting to see if one of these YouTubers or something that, makes, a bazillion dollars, they should totally order a tiny house, a car, and like some lobster and just like have a cookout and all the things to do the cookout or whatever and just, go to town. I saw that the other day. I saw Amazon Auto. They kept trying to push it. It kept popping up on the thing. And I thought, wow, they've gotten into cars now too. Okay.
Yes, Jeff Bezos owns our lives now.
Just about everything, it seems like, right? All right, so one more email question this week from Susan in Valencia. And she's talking about Social Security. She says, Coach, I understand that my Social Security benefit doesn't get any bigger after you turn 70. I will be 70 in a few months later this year, but I also plan on working for a few more years, maybe 72, maybe 73. So should I start my Social Security while I'm still working at 70? I mean, Coach, if it maxes at 70, why not turn it on? Is there any benefit to waiting any longer?
No, and there's a little bit of nuance there. People say you can't increase your Social Security after age 70. That's not exactly true. What you can't increase are what we call our delayed retirement credits.
Okay.
Big old difference there. So 67 for, we'll call it us right now, is the full retirement age.
Right.
If you wait till 70, you get what we call delayed retirement credits. Basically, you're goosing your 8% per year to increase your Social Security benefit.
Right.
And that's permanent, and you get to have that forever. However, you can increase your retirement benefits because, remember, they're calculating off your entire work career. So let's just say and I've had this happen with a client, you're 70 or 71 years old, you make $200,000. What you're doing is you're actually replacing one of those low income years where you made $15,000, working at the ice cream shop. So you're replacing a lower income year with a higher income year. And so what Social Security is doing is they're going to recalculate your Social Security each year with those higher benefits. Now, you can't go back and reapply for a different benefit. That's not what you're doing. But Social Security is recalculating your benefit with this higher amount. So it's okay to keep working. And yes, you can increase your Social Security benefit by doing that when you're over 70. And again, I had this happen. I had a client who was 70 years old, and we were actually talking with RMD's situation and Social Security. And the guy actually loved what he was doing. He did not want to retire. He loved what he was doing, and he was working in aerospace. And I'm like, keep working, dude. Keep working. If this is what you want to do, we'll figure out, and I explained to him how the Social Security benefits actually can increase. And again, these are the delayed retirement credits can increase, but again, your overall Social Security benefit can increase. So absolutely, it's a good, if this is what you want to do it. But yeah, don't wait after 70. Since you can't add on to your delayed retirement credits, you might as well take it at 70 because there's no reason to delay there. But then you're going to have increases as you go along based on your better work or your earnings record. So good stuff.
That makes sense.
So start at 70, but again, you are going to get increases because of the higher income now. Great question. Right. Great question.
Yeah, good stuff this week. Thanks, folks, for listening to the podcast. Thanks for checking us out on Apple or Spotify or YouTube. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, thumbs up, notification bell so you catch new episodes when they come out. Coach and I talking about all sorts of stuff and hopefully helping you with some useful nuggets of information. As always, you want to see how it relates to your specific situation before you take any action. So get on to John's calendar, have a conversation with him at bookachatwithjohn.net. That's bookachatwithjohn.net. And if you want to get a couple of his books, it's a great way to get started. Check this out.
John has a couple of free books, Diffuse and Tax-Free Retirement in California, that reveal exactly how you can experience zero taxes in retirement and overcome the IRS lien on your 401k, IRA, and 403b, which could threaten your future lifestyle. These are complimentary, so all you have to do to pick these up 100% free is just stop by rescuemyretirement.net. That's rescuemyretirement.net. Fill in the basic info and he'll ship those out to you immediately. That's rescuemyretirement.net for a copy of Diffuse and Tax-Free Retirement in California.
All right, that's going to do it this week, Coach. Thanks for hanging out and breaking it down, my friend. As always, appreciate your time.
Thank you. A lot of fun. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, man. We'll see you next time here on Red Zone Retirement Program, Simple Investing, Smart Future, with Coach John Mears.
Advisory services offered through Mears Money Management, Inc., an RIA registered in the states of California and Texas. California Department of Insurance License number 0685203.